I'm excited. So I've done a little bit of soul searching for the last couple of years to work out what do I do, because I do wear many hats, and many of you may know me as a social media specialist, and that's one hat that I have worn for many years. But I've also been a personal training business coach, and I thought, well, what does Leanne do? So I came up with a rebranding, which is myself, my own brand, Leanne Peard, and I actually do decode, decide and deliver results for people in their business. So that's where I'm at today. A little bit about my background. I've been delving in social media and online space since 2005. I first jumped on Facebook and thought, are you serious? What are these people doing? Do we really want to know what they had for breakfast? No, I don't think so. And then I had a mind shift where I thought, hang on, this is where my clients are. So I need to get into the space or get into where the traffic is of where my potential business is. So doing that and having a real estate business, within 10 months, we had generated over $500,000 in commissions. And the feedback was, we saw you everywhere. Now, really, they couldn't see us everywhere because there was 2 salespersons, people, myself included. We only sold 1 property a month, so that's 1 sign in cans in front of a property at that stage. But they were seeing us everywhere through the modalities of YouTube and Facebook, and that's when I thought this stuff works. And the best thing about it, it's cost effective. We were spending $10,000 a month on TV and radio advertising and weren't getting any results. And when we spent a bit of time on social media, we were getting the results. So that's where I put my business hat on and thought, businesses need to know about whether you're online or you're an offline bricks and mortar business. Businesses need to know that there's this huge network or this traffic out there of people that you want to do business with. So 54% of people actually use their mobile phones to find a local business. So that's when my brain started clicking over and thinking, well, each and every one of us need to be found online, otherwise we're missing people. They're walking past our front door. So that's a little bit about my background. What I have been doing as a certified trainer is developing courses to teach people. So I also realized that everybody can't actually turn up in a training room. You know, people are busy today, like we were saying, that, you know, everyone's busy doing other things, that I needed to develop programs to actually give to people to learn at home, on their mobile phone, when they're dropping the kids off at soccer, whatever. So that's where I've developed how to create an online business. So I'm going to share with you today 3 steps, if that's okay, how you can start thinking about getting your offline business online, or if you already have an idea of what you could potentially use your skills with to create an online business. So it can be things like, you might be just thinking, geez, I need an extra $100 a week, so that might be something. We all have skills here, we all have, you know, an expertise that the world is actually screaming out for you. We do that. We all have our own unique set of skills that we can share with people. So it's for people that possibly want a lifestyle change, more income, mums that want to stay home and look after their children, older people that are looking for that passive income. It doesn't matter. You can turn anything, any idea into an online business. The key to an online business, though, is validating it. So what many people do is they go, and I've done this, I've got a great idea. Ding, let me create a product. Let me create a website. You spend hours and hours creating this beautiful product and nobody turns up to buy it. The secret is to actually validate the market and know that there is people wanting your product and service, and then create it. So that's what I'll share with you today. So the story about if you build it, they'll come is not true. You can build many of them and nobody will come. Doesn't matter how many people are on the internet. So like I said, I'm going to share with you 3 steps. Now in the online education product world, there's 3 markets that are absolutely making billions of dollars. The first one is personal development. It's always been up there and will continue to stay up there. The second one is health and fitness. And the third one is what we call micro niches. Does anyone know what a micro niche is, or a niche? No? No? So a niche, yeah?
Specific product market.
Yeah.
A specific product, yeah.
Yeah. So a niche might be, and I'll just use personal training because that's in my head. A niche might be, I'm a personal trainer that works with women. Okay, doesn't tell us a lot. But a niche, a micro niche is I work with women aged between 35 and 45 who want to lose weight up to 10 kilos, and we will use kettlebells. So that's like a micro niche. You're actually niching down inside the industry. So that market alone is turning over billions of dollars. Now I've just bought a program from Frank Kern. I paid over $3,000 for it, only because he's the #1 internet guru out there and has been for 80 years. And what he says is, if every single one of us create a product, we wouldn't be able to supply the demand of people's knowledge or thirst for education. Other people say to me, well, you can get it on YouTube for free. That's true, but how much time does it take to source these folders or these videos to actually get that information for free? Then you can go buy it for like $97 and have it there on your computer forever. So that's the thinking about the online programs. So step 1 is, on my notes, you need to understand why, and this is for any business. Why do you do what you do? Because the why is the driving force to get you out of bed and create the program and do whatever you need to do. So why? And the next thing is, if you're not sure, what are you passionate about? Like I said, a passion is where you spend all day doing and talking and breathing and sharing information for free. That's your passion. It doesn't take your energy away from you. So what are you passionate about? When you've got those two things covered, and normally the why can be a bit harder, so start with the passion. Then you've got to think about, what problem is in my industry? What do you see all the time? Speaking to Patricia, we spoke about doctors and not being able to have that rapport. That's a problem in the industry. So then you look at, how do I fix that problem? Okay, well, I want to create a product, online communication for doctors, which is a micro niche. All right, that's great. I've got the idea in my head. I know that there's a problem I'm passionate about, but what do I do next? The next thing is you need to validate the market. So you need to go to things like Google Keyword Tool. You need to go to Google and you need to go to YouTube, and you need to type in, are people searching for this? So if I type in, my doctor doesn't communicate effectively, is it dropping down? Is there 100 people searching for that online? No, don't go to that market, because there's no one providing that service. If you go in and you look for personal development and business mindset and there's hundreds there, you know that there's a demand for that market, okay? You know somebody's already done the research for you and are making money. So you go, okay, tick, I've done my research, I know what I'm passionate about, here's the research, there is a valid market there or a demand for what I can teach. Even piano teaching, there is a market there. What do I do next? Well, you've got to market that market. So it's very simple. You create a website through WordPress, it's free. Or you could use Darren and have it outsourced at a fraction of the price. You can buy Optimized Press, which costs you about $190, which is the facility that plugs into your website to make it like a course structure, okay? So that's cost you, sorry?
What's it called?
Optimized Press. About $197. Another one that you can buy is called Course Cats, which is about $497. But again, when you think about starting a business up, these are low-cost items, you know, to create something. And that's all you need to do. Now, you can do a webinar, which is a PowerPoint presentation, send it out to your list. If you're already in business, you probably have a list of contacts already. And if you don't, you may need to choose some sort of marketing. So you might need Facebook marketing or something similar to drive traffic to your webinar. Once you've got your people and you don't create the product until someone buys it. Why would you spend, and I've done it personally, 3 or 4 weeks to create a program, to put it out there, spend all this time critiquing it and no one buys it. So create the program, and I know a lot of you thinking, oh, what am I going to do when they buy it? That's okay, you deliver it over 8 weeks. So you don't give them the program in one chunk, you say this is drip fed over 8 weeks. So then you say, right, next week we'll have PowerPoint or lesson 1. Go home and quickly create it if you haven't already, and present lesson 1. And then you're a week in front of your client. At the end of 8 weeks, you now have a product. You don't need to recreate it, you just need to send traffic back to it to market it. Okay? I don't know if anyone heard the story of Lynda.com. Has anyone heard of Lynda.com?
Linda?
Yeah. No? Brilliant story. Linda and her husband started web classes, like IT classes, how to build websites, back in, I think it was about early 2000s. And her and her husband were doing phenomenal results in America. People were flying in all over the country to be there in their class, right, for a weekend. And then the GFC hit. So they actually were turning over, don't quote me, but I think, you know, only $1 million a year instantly by having a classroom situation. 9/11 struck, GFC, nobody wanted to travel, so their business fell down overnight. Literally no clients turned up. So she thought to herself, how can I fix this problem? She had to downsize her house, lost 75% of her staff. So she decided to put her program online for a membership of $25. So it took a little while to get people to understand, because she was in front of her field, a little time for people to understand that they could actually access this information online. So here we are 10 years later. The business was just bought by LinkedIn. Have you all heard of LinkedIn? Yeah. LinkedIn purchased her business for over $100 billion. So it cost her $35 to register the domain name 15 years ago. She had the idea to teach people, so she had the passion. She had a very small list of people that were coming because it was a bricks and mortar training. Turned it into videos, continued to give outstanding content. LinkedIn comes along and says, you've got a great business, we'll give you $100 billion for it.
Wow.
I know. Wow. So okay, you may not want to have a $100 billion business, but what about an extra $10,000 a year, or $50,000, or $60,000? You know, that money alone can make a change in your life. Now, when you're thinking, and I know some of you are probably thinking that's all well and good, I want to work with doctors. I shouldn't say this live either. That's a great idea. Okay, so we'll work with teaching people the piano. If I could use you. So you go, well, how do I do that? Because we're so consumed with all this knowledge we have in our head, we forget that the average person doesn't know what we know. Okay, so there's another tip that I'll just share with you, and it's called the escape and arrival. So what you do, 2 circles on a piece of paper. This is your client. They want to escape from something and arrive from here. Draw a line. So you go, okay, my client wants to escape from not being, or somebody wants to give me an example?
Working 60 hours a week for an employee that don't employ them.
Brilliant. So here they are, JOB.
That's our experience.
Yeah.
And what do they want? What's the end result?
Their own business or more freedom.
Freedom.
More time. Yeah.
Okay. So the end result is freedom. They want to get out of the job and be free. So Darren, what would be the first thing that they need to do?
Build a strategy somehow. Find a coach, maybe. Find some advice.
Strategy.
Research, yeah.
Advice. What else? Research.
Research, yeah.
What else? They have to have an idea.
Have an idea, yeah.
Okay, then like we said, they've got to validate the market. Then what else? One more thing, just forgot.
Create a product.
Create a product. Okay. So now, what you thought to be easy stuff, because we do it every day, has now become an actual course. So you create a course around how to leave your job and find financial freedom in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 easy steps. Charge $97 for it, 100 people a month, then you've got 10 grand. So then you might be thinking, oh, I don't know what to do. That's okay. Remember, you're not making this until you've sold the product. You need to just do a bit of brainstorming. What do I do in a strategy session? Okay, I might do this, 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 and this. Create however many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-minute videos on that. Put it onto your website. It might take you, I don't know how long to record that. Let's say a couple of hours. A couple of hours of work. Put it on there. First lesson done. If you wanted to...
What, does it have to be on a video site,
No.
or can you just put...
No, you can't. That's right. Great question. So what type of opportunity can you share this information? You could do an ebook. You could do an audio series, which is just your voice. You could do a PowerPoint, so you're behind the screen and just doing a PowerPoint presentation. You could do this sort of thing live, and you're doing it all the time, and record yourself. And for those of you that don't know, Amy's just gone on Facebook Live. So hello to all the Facebook people. We're actually broadcasting live on Facebook. Great opportunity for you to share your message. So, and it's free, and you'll get over 100 people viewing it.
And where do we get the technical skills to do all of this stuff?
So the technical skills, okay, well maybe you need somebody like Darren to help you
Maybe we do.
to put it together, you know? So I suppose the technical skills, if you're not sure, you can speak what you know. You can create audio programs. You can get apps on your phone that you can speak into. And then obviously you need some technical support to get it to the web or to the website. Most people can help you with that. Yeah. You can outsource an ebook, like Darren talks about outsourcing. There is a number of sites, and Darren will help you too, but you can get an ebook written for $5. So you can do so what I'm doing now with my online webinars, so I do the webinar for free. I send it to the site, they transcribe my voice into a document. That document is then a saleable piece of content that I can sell. Or it's an audio, so I put it on my podcast. So there's so many things that you can do.
Ask
A
Darren.
video, you're recording your voice or through just audio or a video, and you put it online so people can hear you and see you all around the world, basically.
So it's
So podcast is
It's a recording.
an app or
Is that like a webinar?
It can be a webinar.
iTunes almost is the highest podcast place, but yeah, it's just audio. But if you created the content, so you say, okay, I've got 10 audios, you just find somebody to help you put it up there. You know, you don't have to do all the steps. That's a beautiful thing, you know. If anyone's read the e-myth, it's about not being the technician in your business. It's about being the business owner. So create this and then find somebody to do that for you.
What are you using for your podcasts?
I'm on iTunes.
iTunes.
Yeah. There are other ones, Podomatic, Podbean, and Pod something. Yeah. So, any questions?
I just feel excited.
I'm always excited.
If you're on iTunes, does that mean only iPhone users, Mac users can find you, or can Android users find you?
Most applications, so let's say the podcast, for example, is available on both phones. You'll normally see subscribe through iTunes or subscribe through Android.
I guess the choice.
Yeah, you do get the choice, yeah. It's only apps that can be a little bit difficult, let's not talk about apps, yeah. Yeah. So, you know, even if you started with one idea and one piece of content and see if there's a demand for it.
And how do you find out if there's a demand for it?
Well, people will watch. You can give it away for free. So when I know Patricia asked me before about, you know, what do I do with my stuff? It needs to be secure. The best way is get people to subscribe to you. So if you've got a website, you would use MailChimp. It's a free, what we call an autoresponder. And I'm sure many of you have seen the little boxes where it says, put your name in here and put your email in there to get this information for free. So you could offer free information by gathering their email address.
Yeah, well, they do that if they go on my site.
Yeah.
It's already there.
So you've probably got a list of people already on that from your website. So
And I
you
never keep the list.
okay, so that's what you should do. You should have this going to what we
I
call
just replied and
MailChimp.
that was
I'm
it.
telling you.
And then you would have a list of people. So let's say you got 100 people. You could do a piece of content and say, Patricia's created an audio on how to communicate effectively for strategic leaders, micro niche. So now you send this to your list and say, hey, I've got 100 people on my list. Can you watch this?
So I do a rundown list of the people that have been inquired and
Yeah. So instead of the way,
deleting it.
yeah, so the way you're doing it manually, it's already in the list for you, and you create the little email saying, get my new audio, click the button, and it goes to 100 of them.
So do you think the people that have already been inquiring about me through these boxes, and somewhere in my computer there's a list of them?
Should be.
Where do I find them?
Sandbox.
Well, it's so fun because the other day I was doing something and the TEM program is trying to access my computer but gives up every now and then. And this whole page of stuff I've never seen came up, and I thought, oh, I must come back there and delete half of that. It's all downloads, you know. And I went into downloads. Do you know I can't find it? It's not in downloads, but there's something in my computer that's got a whole lot of information. I can't find it. It just flashed up one day when I was doing something else, and I thought, oh, I can't attack that now. I've got to answer this. And when I came back, I couldn't find it.
Probably saved down to some sort of
That's
miscellaneous
right.
folder.
I know. I didn't. You know, I only just recently found out that you actually have a downloads section in your computer, and you can hit downloads, and up comes all the stuff we've downloaded over the last 10 years. I didn't know it was there.
I didn't know it was there.
No, well, I think it was my son said, "Oh, you would have downloaded that, Mum." I said, "Yeah, but where do I find it?" And he said, "It's called the download button." Oh, okay. All right, let's try that. So seriously, I can't even get on LinkedIn. They tell me I'm on LinkedIn because I have put my name down, but I can't access it. Can't bring it up to write on it. Need your help,
I
I
just
think,
need
Darren.
to tell you about the conversation I had with Darren recently.
Yes.
Who I met at the small business seminar, and there were a number of people, certainly not with your exact same ideas, but they'd say something about technology, and you see everybody go, "Oh, and how do you do that bit?" And then it'd move on, and there was a question asked: does anybody out of 200 people feel really comfortable with technology, know it really well? Darren put his hand up, and he was the only one. And I just went and talked to him, and I said, there's a real need out there for a lot of people in business, especially the over 50s, and even people who've been out of the workforce, to know how to do things like this, how to access the technology. So Darren came and visited me one day, and I was just saying there's just that huge need. There's a lot of people who are fully in the workforce. They don't have the time to sit down and Google every single thing and how to do it, and so a lot of their good ideas just get put to one side. And you know, what you're saying here is just absolutely fantastic, but I'll bet you half of us don't know how to do it. You know? So
yeah, but just again, you know, like Deb would say, with mindset, you know, you may not know how to do all of this, but you do know how to come up with the idea, and if you don't know how to research, well then you could get some help with research, but all you need to do is create this one. You know, just getting a bit of help to create the one, and then outsource for everything else. You know, outsourcing is, you know, effective and it's cheap, and you know, it might cost you, let's say it costs $400 to set the website up, get your course content, get somebody to write it all for you, but all you need to do is speak into your iPhone or your computer or your video, your computer once a week to create stuff and send it off to somebody else to worry about it.
yeah, I suppose so.
Or you could learn it all. You know, that's the other thing.
Well, you don't need to learn it all, but I know, but I still see there's a need for people, you know, like Patricia's just put out a whole range of things there. And it does inhibit you from doing this sort of idea. Yes, you can outsource everything, but really, if you understand what you're doing, you're going to do that part more effectively.
Oh, for sure.
I won't know who to outsource to. I don't know how to do that bit.
Yeah.
Who's a scammer and who's legit?
Yeah.
Somebody could take my money and do nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know who's.
Just a small amount of research and meet up with a few people who have some information and make an informed decision on it. You know, there's enough information out there. And
What information is good information and what's bad? We don't know.
With online
Anybody
marketing,
can say anything online.
yeah, it's grown so much in the last few years that transparency has become so important. If someone's not transparent, if someone's lied or not had shown integrity, it'll be all over everywhere. There'll be blog posts, there's information out there to say don't work with these people. That's absolutely essential. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely agree. Yeah.
Word of mouth is the biggest form of advertising, and one wrong move, everyone knows about it.
So, what is an example of what you've done using this?
An example?
Yeah.
So,
What you've done in your business?
creating online programs.
Yeah.
So for me, I've learnt it all. So I've started from learning websites, getting my businesses on the front page of Google, realising I don't need to pay traffic, realising that social media is a big part of it. So I've learnt all those steps. and I've learned how to, so I've learned everything that we're talking about here. The only time I outsource now is because I don't have time. So instead of sitting there listening to the audio and typing it, I go, you know what, I could be creating another course because I've got another idea that needs to be validated, so I'll just outsource that. So
How did you learn it?
I just learned it.
Just by
YouTube
doing
clips?
No, I probably spent over $100,000 in my education to date learning this.
So how did you learn it then? How?
Oh, online.
So courses like
Doing
webinars
just by
and stuff
doing it.
online. How
Yeah.
did you find those courses
Googling
online?
it. So initially, when I first got my website back in 2005, I went, there's got to be a better way to do a website. I need to control what people are seeing on my website. How to make a website. There's WordPress. Okay, I don't know what WordPress is. How do I use WordPress? There's actually a free tutorial online about how to use WordPress. You sign
There's
up for
heaps
it.
of them. There's
Yeah.
heaps of them
So
on
you
this.
just start doing
You
it.
can spend the rest of your life looking at them.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And I'm sure you could find how to play a piano online.
Oh yeah.
But it could take me 20 months to get the information into my little folders on how to do it. Or I can buy you a course and you show me in 10 hours the basics.
So is online, when you're costing your courses or whatever your product is online, is it cheaper than would my courses online be cheaper than what they are to come to a course? And Deborah, you might like to enter into that too. Would we, because you're a trainer, would we charge less online?
Online you charge less.
I would imagine it's about half the
The
price.
volume.
You get more people.
And initially, like Darren was saying, there's so many people out there, so you've got to make your mark in your space.
Yeah.
So to do that, you've either got to give away part of it for free to build up your following. Once people buy from you, like we know in normal business, they'll keep coming back if you're offering great quality and content. So, I lost my train of thought. Where were we at?
I have a question.
Yes, that'll be
I'll just
great, 'cause
interrupt you.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions was like, what have you done in your business to implement that? And I think what you need to let everyone know is
The courses.
you've learnt it all, now you're teaching them how to
do it.
do it.
Yeah. But
You're
I
not
do
just
have my
saying
own
do it.
coaches.
Yeah.
So some of the courses that I've got and that are profitable in social media for personal trainers, that was the very first one that I created.
What was it?
Social media
Yeah.
for personal trainers.
Okay.
So I created everything. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything. It's like 70 hours worth of content for personal trainers. So I sell that for about $247.
So that could be something that Patricia would do from her question. How do I
Get
do
onto
this?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What else have I done? Gosh, I've got social media strategy. So that's for the person that I want to get onto social media, but I don't know how to do it, don't know which platform to go, don't know where my business is. So that's a social media strategy course. I've developed one for Facebook Live, how to do Facebook Live, because that's the newest thing. Gosh, what else have I done? I've done a LinkedIn mastery. I've done a personal development courses. Yeah, heaps.
So what's a LinkedIn mastery?
Well, that teaches people how to use LinkedIn. On its own.
Right, now we're
Yeah.
now we're getting into it.
Or
I need
Twitter
that. I
mastery.
don't understand LinkedIn one bit.
Yeah.
Most people are business
People
minded
endorse me. I
Facebook.
don't know if that
Yeah.
helps.
Yes. Yeah.
I must admit, I do
So we
live in a
can-
block in Cairns that the computer goes down every now and then, it doesn't hold. And it's just a certain block where I live.
Yes.
It's quite a common thing, evidently.
So if we Googled how to use LinkedIn, your name would come up, your business.
Your case.
Probably not, because I haven't targeted that. So my keywords are my name and social media specialist. If you wrote in social media specialist, I'm at top Google. And then inside that you'll see my website, and then you'll see everything else. I haven't targeted each course because I'm directing my traffic to the course. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you actually Google personal trainers, what was the last one I just did? I did a course of personal trainers called Personal Trainers. Personal Trainers How to Create Passive Income. Because I actually used a strategy with YouTube, put the video on YouTube. Now that's on the front page of Google. So again, that comes back to like Darren was saying, the strategy session.
But don't you have to have, if you're doing YouTube, don't you have to have somebody running your camera?
No, you can do it from anything.
Phone.
Yeah.
It's not a video, is it? YouTube videos?
Yeah, on video on your phone.
phone and then upload it.
You can with a video as well as a camera.
I was just going to. Sorry.
You and I are in the same boat, aren't we?
No, there's a lot of people.
We got kindergarten here.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. So, any more questions?
Yeah, where's your card?
In front of you.
I need it.
I'd just like to back up what Leanne's shown us here on the board, because it's actually a simple concept. It just takes a bit of strategy and a bit of work to get it done. You can build it as you go, and you can make some really good money from it. Any business, any product, any service. Yeah.
I think I've been doing it as I've been. I think I've been
No,
trying to
get the product first.
get the idea around
We
it.
feel we need
Oh,
the
you
product
know, I
first.
don't write
We
my
need to be
training
confident
programs
about the
now until
product.
I've got the time.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
I don't
it's
take
the other way
training
around.
programs off the shelf anyway. I'm
I'm trying to create it and then get responded with it.
That's the new thing we need to do, changing our mindset to get round these new ways of thinking about things. Yeah, in the business side.
We need your changing our mindset now.
So we know
From
we've got
dumb to
to work
scholar.
Well, that's changing mindset, Leanne. Just go. You sell it before you create it. Yeah, it is. I never create a product before I sell it.
No,
I always
neither
make
do I.
sure I've got at least 2 or 3 clients.
You're already doing it.
down to it.
Well, then, if you're creating it after you've got the client, then you're actually creating it for the client,
Yes,
which is a
yes,
much bigger
makes
deal
sense.
than just taking something off a shelf.
It's more
Which is what I have to
personalised.
explain to people all the time. I don't take my programs off a shelf. I don't have a set program because I just pull it down and say, there's our program. I say, okay, what do you want to learn? When do you want to learn it? What do you got to do with it? Etc. etc. Now I'll write the program.
So going back to that, Deb, would you mind sharing with the ladies, how did you start? Like, obviously you're already doing it, so how did you start? Where did you go? Did you Google stuff? Did you create your website? Did you learn?
I googled. I looked for the idea that I had a look to see if anyone else was doing it. I didn't use Google AdWords. That's one thing I didn't do, and I'm going to do that. I looked to see if anyone else was doing it, and because the product that has really gained traction is the mindset for business success. And what I did was I looked in business coaches to see what business coaches were doing, what they were offering, and I looked at other coaches too to see what they were offering, and there was no one doing it. So that's when I decided to create it, but I didn't create it. I marketed it first. And then once I had my clients on board, I made sure, because it was a face-to-face training, I made sure that I had a big gap, because it was a 6-month program that I created. So I made sure I had a big gap from having the clients on board to the program actually beginning. And I did, so it was, the clients came on board just before Christmas. So I created an early bird deal to encourage people to make that commitment early. And then over the Christmas break, I created the major part of the program over the Christmas break. But then I completed creating it when we were actually running the training. And each time I've run it, I've changed it because I've seen how I can improve it. Yeah.
Did you study Jeff Walker?
Oh, no, he sends me emails. I haven't seen him.
He does a similar system.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff Walker is one of the biggest names in online marketing in the States. He does